You are about to listen to the Exclusively Here with Diego Santoyo podcast. Hello, everyone. How's everyone doing? I hope you all are well. I am doing pretty good. Can't complain, even though, I still do here and there. Something I need to stop doing. Welcome to my podcast. This is Exclusively Here with Diego Santoyo. I am excited to give you guys another episode, and I hope you all enjoy it. So far, this week has been pretty interesting with a lot going on. The Olympics are taking place, and all kinds of things are just going on in the world. So, with that being said, let's dive right into the first segment, and let me tell you all some of the latest things that have been going on in the world so far this week. Let's start off with the father who killed his daughter, which took place in Hendersonville, Tennessee, on Monday, August 8th in the afternoon. Timea Batts had just gotten home from her first day of school, was shot, and passed away. She was only 11 years old. Her father, 29-year-old Timothy Batts, was the one who shot her, and he was arrested and charged for shooting and killing his daughter. Timothy at first stated that his daughter had already been shot prior to getting home and showed up wounded. He took her to the hospital to get treated, but unfortunately, she did not make it and passed away there. As everything got investigated, it was later determined that Timea was not shot before getting home, but actually shot once she got home inside the house she lived in. Timothy later confessed the truth and did admit to him shooting and killing his daughter, Timea. Uh, he did say that the whole thing was an accident and that she had actually startled him when she got home from school, which caused for him to accidentally shoot and kill her. As I have mentioned already, he was arrested and charged for his actions. He was charged with reckless homicide and tampering with evidence, along with other things. So, Timothy has been in trouble before, and he actually has somewhat of a record. He does have previous convictions and violations. As of right now, he is set to appear in court pretty soon. It's set for August 24th. It has been said that Tamea was a good girl and will definitely be missed. Everyone that did know her is really sad about the whole thing. And Timothy is definitely not going to be the only one to make a court appearance soon, as I'm sure Christopher Ponce will as well. If you haven't heard of him, let me tell you guys a little bit about him. So, he was on the run for a little over 3 years, but was recently captured out in Spain. Back in 2012, out in Tampa, Florida, he had caused a horrible car accident because he was driving drunk. He should have definitely not been behind the wheel. He was pretty much driving in the wrong direction and into oncoming traffic. So, as a result, he crashed head on into a car that was being driven by 20-year-old William Angel. William did pass away. He had two of his friends with him in the car and they survived but were injured. Christopher did face charges for his actions. He was placed under house arrest. And in 2013, he decided to take off the ankle bracelet and run. So he had been on the run for quite some time. Authorities were definitely looking for him. And finally, this week, the police out in Almeria, Spain, arrested him at a bus stop. William's family was notified on Wednesday, August 10th, that Christopher's run had ended, and he was found and arrested. On the same day that William's family was notified, a fire broke out in a hospital out in Baghdad, Iraq. About 12 newborn babies unfortunately died in the fire. There was an electrical problem which started the fire at the hospital, and the fire did cause quite some damage to the hospital. Some women and other babies that were in the hospital were transferred to different hospitals in the area. Families of the newborn babies that passed away were really affected by the whole thing. When the fire happened, they didn't know whether or not their newborns were okay. But at some point, some families got some very horrible. They got some very horrible news, and had discovered that their newborns had actually burned in the fire. People are very sad and mad at the same time. People that did lose their newborn babies in the fire were really upset with the government. They feel that the government didn't do enough to stop the fire from happening. They just feel that the government could have done more for this situation. So it is really sad that this has happened because no one wants to find out that their child has burned and died. It's a really tragic thing. And on Thursday, August 11th, two bombs exploded out in Hua Hin, Thailand. So far, it was being reported that one person died and quite a few people were injured. Some of the injured people are in critical condition. This whole thing seemed to be very planned out because I guess the bombs were hidden in some pots. The area where they exploded was a pretty busy one. So the person that passed away was a woman, and some of the injured people were actually just visitors to the area. So the whole thing is still under investigation, and authorities are trying to find out who might have been behind it all. So horrible that that has happened, you guys. It's really horrible. Okay, on to the last one here before we take a little break. Let's talk a little bit about Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton. So, also on Thursday, Hillary gave a speech on the economy, and Donald gave one on Monday. Well, in her speech, she let people know that his economic plan was no good. She feels that people should not listen to him or even believe his promises. She let people know that his economic plan will only benefit those with wealth and it will not benefit anyone else. It will not offer new opportunities or anything. So she's fighting on, but so is he. So eventually, once we get our new president, depending on who wins, we'll definitely be able to see if his or her economic plan is good or not. All right, you guys, that is it for this segment, but don't go away. I have more news coming up after this message. Hey everyone, just want to remind you guys that you guys are listening to Exclusively Here with Diego Santoyo. I hope you guys are enjoying the podcast so far. Exclusively Here with Diego Santoyo is made available to everyone by 12 a.m. or 6 a.m. every Friday, and you can find my podcast on my website, which is diegosantoyo.com. My podcast is also available on iTunes and YouTube. Thank you for listening. Okay, you guys, we are back, and I am excited to get into the second segment. Here is some more news for you guys from this week, but let's change it up now and dig into some pop culture only. So I want to start off this segment with YouTube star Gigi Gorgeous. Unfortunately, I guess you cannot visit every city in this world. Gigi traveled to Dubai this week, and once she landed there on Tuesday, August 9th, she was actually detained for being transgender, which is really sad. She was actually stopped at immigration, and the officer let her know that they were aware that she is transgender, and because of the fact that she is transgender, she wasn't allowed in the country. So the airport police did state that her passport actually identifies her as a male, but Gigi said that that is a lie because her passport has been updated. This whole thing was really interesting because I had no idea that if you are transgender, you are pretty much not allowed in Dubai. I think this is important for people to know, and it also shows how important it is for you to do your research before you even decide to visit another country. In Dubai, being transgender is pretty much a crime because men cannot be women. They have their own regulations on it, and you can get about a year in jail, which is crazy. So Gigi was detained at the airport for over 5 hours. Luckily for Gigi, she managed to make it out and head on to somewhere else. With a post on Instagram, she let all her followers know that she was okay, but that it was definitely not a pleasant experience and it was quite scary. So the good thing is that she managed to get out of there and that she's okay now. Okay, so the same day that Gigi was detained, that night on Tuesday, Snoop Dogg and Wiz Khalifa had a huge turn up at their concert out in New York. If you love to party, drink, and get crazy, you should have been there Tuesday night. There were about 14,000 people at this damn concert, and from what has been reported, there was not enough security to really monitor everyone and make sure that it's safe to be there, which is pretty scary. They're lucky that nothing terrible went on. However, there was a lot of drinking. It sounds like people were really trying to just black out. So much drinking went on that people were taken to the hospital. There were people being treated for alcohol poisoning. And the crazy part about it all is that quite a number of these people that were getting treated weren't even 21, but actually younger. So that means that there must have been a lot of underage drinking going on at this concert. That's for sure. So by now, I'm sure that everyone knows that Rob Kardashian and Black China got their own reality show. And if you didn't know, now you do. Filming for the reality show is in session at the moment, but production is facing some problems already. I guess Rob is not participating as much with the filming as he should be. He's not present when needed, and it's his reality show, so he needs to be in a lot of the scenes that production films. So there have been moments where Black China has had to shoot alone, and that's not good because if production does not get the footage that they need of the both of them together, then it kind of puts their show at risk of getting more seasons once the first one airs and possibly getting canceled. People want to see Rob in the show, and there is no point in just showing Black China all the time without Rob when the show is supposed to be theirs together. From what I have from what I have gathered, um, it sounds like he wants to do the show, but then at moments he doesn't. He's definitely witnessed what a reality show can do to your relationships when everything is put out there for the world to watch. Sometimes having a reality show can damage some relationships and it can bring problems into your life. It seems like he doesn't want the show to bring in any problems into his relationship with Black China. So he he films and then he doesn't because he thinks of the harm it can do. Um, as you guys might know, if you watch Keeping Up with the Kardashians, Rob hasn't been part of it for some time now. It must be weird for him to go through the experience of again of filming your life when he had not done it for so long. Um, I think he knows the good it can bring in and the bad it can bring in. So he doesn't really know how to feel about it. Well, if it's meant to be, the show will go on and be a hit. And if it's not meant to be, then the show will probably get canceled after just a season. But we'll have to wait and find out. All right, you guys, let's move on to Leslie Jones. If you keep up with her, you know by now that she loves the Olympics. I mean, loves them. So she has definitely been keeping up with the Olympics and has been tweeting about the Olympics nonstop. Her tweets are extremely funny, and she actually got an invite to go to Rio to be there in person instead of watching it on TV or on a computer. Her tweets on the Olympics did go viral, and as I have mentioned, they were really funny and just great overall. So she was given the opportunity to go out there now through NBC and join their team as a contributor. She made it to Rio Thursday, August 11th, sometime in the morning. She was given her very own Snapchat filter, which is really cool. And she's out there now enjoying everything. And if you want to know more about the Olympics or know how her trip is going, follow her on Twitter. She'll definitely keep you updated and laughing because Leslie has a great positive vibe that they need out there. So it's a good thing that she is out there now with them. All right, you guys. So last one here before I end this episode. This week, same day that Leslie Jones landed in Rio, actually marked the second anniversary of Robin Williams' death. I can't believe it has already been 2 years. He had passed away back in August 11th, 2014. He was only 63 at the time of his death, and when he had passed away, It affected a lot of people. He was really loved and still is. A really funny guy and just seemed great overall. His daughter Zelda took to social media on August 7th to let everyone know that pretty much the second anniversary of his death is approaching, and she would be taking a short break off social media. She has a reason for doing this, and she said, and I quote, "It's so people can memorialize dad on the anniversary of his death however they wish without me having to feel bombarded by it or pressured by the expectation put on myself or my family to publicly acknowledge or join in doing so." She says she will be back soon and she's just grateful for all the love that everyone has for her dad. He is still very much remembered and missed. That is it for this episode. Thank you so much for listening. You guys are awesome. Don't forget to catch a new episode next Friday. I will have more news then. This is exclusively here, and I am your host, Diego Santoyo. Until next time, have a great one.